Yankees ace Gerrit Cole lit it up during his first rehab assignment with their AA affiliate, the Somerset Patriots, on Tuesday night. So let's talk about the return of Cole with Matt Cardo, senior writer and editorial producer for the Patriots. Matt, man, thanks for hopping on with this packed house down there in Somerset. Probably the most anticipated rehab assignment throughout the year. You got a chance to speak with Cole. We'll talk about that later on, but let's talk about the outing. He threw 3 1/3 shutout innings with 5 strikeouts. He only gave up 2 hits, 2 singles. How'd he look?
Yeah, he looked fantastic as advertised. I think it's as good as you could have hoped that he would look for the first time out. Obviously, he's been shut down since the early days in March, so just looked like vintage Gerrit Cole to me. Sat around 96 miles per hour with the velo, which is kind of right where he wanted to be coming out of the gate. Threw all of his pitches for strikes, didn't walk a batter, which is always good. Yep. Not showing any signs of rust or missing the zone or anything like that. So he looked dialed in from the get-go. Gave up a kind of a blooper leadoff single to the first guy he faced, and then kind of sat down 7 in a row after that. So he looked dialed in, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a long kind of layoff for him until he's ready to come back. He kind of looks like vintage Gerrit Cole to me.
Well, I'm glad you said that he didn't show any sign of rust when pitching. How did he look in between pitches? Like, what was his demeanor like? Did he show any signs of discomfort in that elbow, or was he just fully locked in?
No, he was fully locked in from Jump Street. Very workmanlike, business-like demeanor on the mound. Just kind of got the ball back, got right back on the mound, and wanted to go after the next guy, next pitch, and just kind of automatically went into attack mode. It kind of looked like he had to get on the same page with his catcher, Ben Rice, who's one of the Yankees' better prospects, caught him last night. And obviously that's a tough transition for a minor leaguer to just show up that day, and you're used to catching a minor league pitching staff, and then to have to go catch the reigning Cy Young Award winner with little time to kind of work. So I think it took a batter or two probably for them to get on the same page, but right after that, I mean, it was smooth sailing from there. Cole did say he was very amped up. He had a lot of adrenaline that he kind of had to table and manage a little bit when he took the mound. But other than that, it was business as usual for Cole. He was really dialed in from the get-go.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up about the having to settle down and get that relationship chemistry down with the catcher that he's probably never even met before. Gerrit Cole became the 6th different Yankee to appear with Somerset on rehab assignment this season. So what's that like for the guys, both for the Yankee that's on assignment and the guys that are already on the team?
Yeah, I think it varies on a case-by-case basis depending on the profile of the player coming and also how long they're staying with the team. Like in the case of Cole, he shows up, pitches, leaves, and if he pitches again, I mean, that would be in another 5 days from now. But when you have a guy like maybe DJ LeMahieu that comes and stays there for 2 or 3 days, or Jason Dominguez who stays consistently with the team for a week, I think it's a little bit more personal of a relationship. But in this specific case of Cole, a lot of these guys were in awe. I mean, you have to remember a lot of these minor leaguers are 21, 22, 23 years old. So a lot of these guys in high school and playing Little League saw some of these guys play and looked up to them. So in the case, as I alluded to, Ben Rice, the catcher, we talked to him after the game about the chance to get Gerrit Cole, and he called it the highlight of his career up to this point. That's just kind of how awe-inspiring he is to walk into a locker room. He just commands respect, and I think everybody just kind of takes it in like a sponge, and they take whatever they can take from him and use it as a learning experience.
After the game, Cole spoke to the media. You were able to get a question in there with all of the MLB scrum that were probably pulling at him, asking all types of questions. So how was he when talking about the elbow? Did he shy away from any questions, or was he just transparent with everything?
No, super transparent. I thought he was very thoughtful in all his responses, and just honest about where he is. And he said he thinks he's close, and he's definitely closer than he is further away to a return. He doesn't know how many more he'd need. It kind of the vibe I got from him was that he sensed that maybe 1 more, possibly 2. He didn't really say that, but that's just kind of the vibe I took out of that. But he said he felt good. He said it was good to be in an atmosphere pitching in front of a live crowd. Obviously, he's only thrown side sessions, and he's been down in Tampa where there's not a lot of fanfare, and it's kind of just a dead setting with not a lot of fans around. So obviously, TD Bank Ballpark had a sold-out standing room only crowd last night, so there was a ton of fans. Got a chance to get the adrenaline pumping. Got up to 45 pitches, which is the most he's thrown up to this point. And I'd expect that to increase probably 10 or so the next time he comes out. But yeah, just super open and honest about where he is. And the vibe I got is that he's not too far away from potentially rejoining one of the best rotations in baseball here in the not too distant future.
Okay, let's say he pitches in 5 days, pitch Tuesday, so that'll be Sunday. What's the rest of his week going to be like down there? Or does he stay down there?
He won't stay here. I would imagine he's back in New York at this point. I'd imagine a big part of that is today, seeing how he feels. We obviously don't have access to him today, but assuming he feels good after that outing yesterday, I'd think they'd probably begin to put that plan in place for him on Sunday. I would assume there would be a throwing, whether it's a side session or tossing at some point, maybe tomorrow or Friday before he'd prepare to start on Sunday. We asked him kind of directly where he thought that would be on Sunday, and he kind of didn't have a comment. So I'm not sure whether that would be in Somerset or maybe potentially Scranton or the Yankees' low A affiliate high A affiliate in Hudson Valley. All three of them are home this week, so the options are pretty limitless on the East Coast, whether it's high A, double A, or triple A, for him to make his next outing. But assuming he feels good today, I'd assume he'd, like I said, throw aside and then start again on Sunday. We did also get to talk to the Yankees director of pitching, Sam Breen, after, and asked him about his next outing. He said they generally like to increase the pitch count start to start by increments of like 7. So he said, being as though he threw 45 this time out, the goal would probably be 52 next time out. Not to say that that's like a drop dead number that could potentially have some flexibility and fluidity to it, but it sounded like he would definitely get up over 50 this coming Sunday, assuming he feels well enough to go.
When we're talking about how deep the Yankees rotation and bullpen is right now, these guys are playing lights out. Let's say Gerrit Cole, after his next outing, is 100% and looks good. I'm going to put your GM hat on. What do you do? Do you bring him back? Who do you sit? Like, what would you do if you're Brian Cashman or Aaron Boone?
Yeah, that's the tough question, and we kind of asked Sam Breen and Gerrit Cole that as well, and there wasn't a definitive good answer. It's a very fluid situation. A lot of it said would be based on how Cole feels. Because obviously he hasn't pitched in 3 months, so this is almost like a spring training period for him, and there is a ramp up that goes to it. So it's a matter of, do you want him to continue that build up in the minor leagues in a minor league setting, or do you want to kind of let him get to that next tier of pitch count while pitching in the major leagues? And Cole said he'd have to be ready to do that, because once you're up there, you're right into the fire. You need to be able to kind of put the ball wherever you want in the zone, and you can't afford to really not be on your game or be as sharp as you want to. So he said he would definitely need a second one. He didn't think it would be fair to go there right now when he was asked that question. But I think there's going to have to be a discussion made if he does indeed go on Sunday, what Cole's comfortable doing and how the Yankees kind of view the rest of his buildup and whether they want that to happen at the major league level. Obviously, with Clark Schmidt now going on the IL, there is kind of that spot for him to slot in with. I know a lot of fans have kind of debated that for the last few weeks. And it's funny how things always kind of just manage to take care of themselves, where the Yankees, I think up to yesterday, had like a 2.718 ERA, the best in all of Major League Baseball, and you almost don't want to disrupt that good mojo going on with that group. But now that there seems to be an opening with Schmidt on the shelf, it would be logical for Cole to slot right into that spot that's been vacated by Schmidt going on the shelf.
Yeah, we'll leave that decision to the baseball gods. Like you said, it's a funny way how the universe works when it comes to sports. Matt, thank you for this, man. This was completely awesome, and definitely got to have you back again soon to talk about those prospects.
Yeah, would love to hop on anytime you guys want. Thank you for having me.